Okay, let's see. Where are we? Where are we? Peace, peace, and welcome. Welcome. Just gonna give it a few moments to see who arrives in this day's chat. Okay, welcome, welcome. Happy sunrise. Gonna give it a few moments. See who arrives in the chat. I wanted to talk about a few things that are on my heart this morning, taking it a step closer, further, closer, inward. Happy sunrise. Good sunrise, Deborah. Welcome, Jason. Happy sunrise, recovering soul. I'm so proud of you, recovering soul. Happy sunrise, Chris. And welcome, Catherine. Happy sunrise to everyone. Mac and Stud, welcome. So I am located here in Berks County, Pennsylvania. I'm wearing my new spectacles today. I purchased them online with my reading prescription. They're a lot lighter than my previous glasses, and they have like this special tech coating. So when you're looking at the computer screen, it doesn't like stress your eyes out even more. So welcome, everyone. And yes, I will admit, I do have some vanity. Yes, I got new glasses, recovering soul. I didn't realize my vanity until I had my first children, my first son. I won't go into details, but it started with me attempting to give myself a haircut. And this is before I had dreadlocks. And I'm standing in the mirror, right, combing my hair straight down. And I cut my hair on this side, cut it on this side, hold the mirror up. Oh, that side's shorter than this side. Then I cut this side, and this side is shorter than that side. And then, you know, it kept going and going until I got completely and utterly frustrated, you know, the hormones, because I cut my own hair before, I had no problem. And then I get to a point where I got the clippers, plugged them in, bzz, bzz, shaved all my hair off except for a bang. Then I curled my bang. So when you looked at me head on, it just looked like I had a ponytail. That's when I learned of my vanity. Yeah. 9:40 a.m. Well, yeah, that's what time it is here, 9:41 here on the Eastern Coast. So, sipping my magnesium. Spent the last 3 days in craniosacral therapy class. It was awesome. Welcome, bright moonlight, bright Celtic moonlight. Yeah, I was in craniosacral therapy class for 3 days straight, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day, except for Sunday. Was there 8 o'clock until 4:30. And I tell you, at one point, I not very happy. I get it was like want to jump out a moving bus or something. But anyway, I want to encourage you, if at all possible, to find yourself a good craniosacral therapist and try it out. And I've shared this before. Our cerebral spinal fluid has photons of light in it. So when I first learned about this, I'm thinking, oh, okay, so the cerebral spinal fluid goes, from your spine down to your sacrum, and those photons of light. And in my second level class, I learned that the cerebral spinal fluid also kind of goes out into the fascia. So, and for those of you who may not know, the fascia is this very thin, fibrous, not necessarily fibrous, but sort of like semi-gelatinous layer that covers all of our muscles. It covers the bone, and it's actually a perfect shape of your body. And any of those who any of those who prepare chicken, cook chicken, when you peel back the layer of skin on the chicken and you see that nice, slippery, thin, filmy layer, that's the fascia. So cerebral spinal fluid sends moisture, sends its essence into the fascia, which is a perfect, replica of our body. So that basically means we have photons of light that, we actually do have a light body. So I thought that was really cool. So I want to take a moment to welcome all of you to this space. Thank you for being here. For those of you that it is sunshine, sunrise, even if it's cloudy out, the sun has risen. Welcome to a new day. And for those of you who are in the latter part of the day, welcome into the afternoon, the evening, and in some cases, deep night. So let's take a moment, take a nice deep centering breath. Okay, welcome. So, how about we do this? We go ahead and bring in our goddess oracle for the day. And as I mentioned before, this is not about worshiping a goddess. This is about connecting with the divine feminine, the different attributes that our various ancestors around the world would have paid homage to, connected with, were priestesses of, etc., etc. And I am all about uniting the divine feminine with the divine masculine. And let me go ahead and shuffle these cards. Use my legs as a semi-table. Okay, where are we today? Okay. So, the essence of the divine feminine that we meet today is Isis. It's a beautiful, beautiful representation of Isis, of the Divine Mother. Welcome. I'm seeing lots of new names here today. Welcome. So we are looking at Isis. And, I always felt it's such a shame that this divine feminine, her name is being used in such a nefarious way in today's world. And we all know that. And let's continue to raise our vibration and, overcome that. No need to dwell on it, but just wanted to mention that. So Isis, mothering. This is all about mothering. Some of us feel that we had good mothers, some not so good. Some of us are mothers. Being a mother is not easy, let me tell you. I'm a mother myself. So let's see what the message of Isis is, mothering. I conceived, carried, and birthed all life. Then, out of my love for you, my children, I gave you my beloved mate, Osiris, Lord of vegetation, God of the grain, to be cut down and born again. I nursed you through sickness with my healing arts. I made you clothes and invented weaving and spinning. I watched over your first steps, helping you grow from infancy to maturity. I was even there with you at the end to hold your hand and guide you to immortality. You were all, and I gave you all, and to you I was all. Isis, great goddess, all mother. Isis, also known as Auset, exceeding queen, and Isis Panthea, Isis the all goddess, was worshipped in many places, including Egypt, the Roman Empire, Greece, and Germany. And we also have to remember that in ancient times, Egypt wasn't just the land, that we see today, but it extended down south into Nubia, okay, and in those regions down south of Egypt, where there are also ancient Kemetic Nubian pyramids and etc. When her beloved Osiris was killed, then dismembered and scattered by her brother Seth, Isis searched out the pieces and reassembled them. She found all but his penis, which she replaced with one of gold. Through use of her magic and healing arts, she brought Osiris back to life, then conceived through his golden penis the sun god Horus. When the temples of Isis were turned into Christian churches, Isis, with baby Horus on her lap, became the Virgin Mary and Jesus. Isis has appeared in your life to tell you it is time for mothering. Have you been giving all your mothering energy away without keeping some for yourself? Have you taken on new project or just had a new baby? Do you feel that something needs extra mothering, but you aren't up to it? Did your own mother or caregiver give you the mothering that you needed? Isis says that it's important to get the mothering you needed in order to heal past wounds. Everyone needs to be mothered, regardless of whether you are a maiden, mother, or crone. And I would also say, our beloved brothers also need proper mothering and the love of the feminine in order to be whole as well. So I don't want any of you guys to take offense. I mean, this book was sort of geared towards women, but the divine feminine speaks to all of us, and I believe is a part of all of us. And this mothering aspect really sort of plays into what I was hoping to discuss. What I was hoping to discuss today, I was having a kind of mini conversation with Chris Monet yesterday, and we were discussing about sharing with people how to connect with, divinity, to connect with Creator. And she mentioned how, we don't want to really discuss the new age, which, may think of meditation as just blissing out. And I just wanted to share my thoughts on that with everyone. As I always encourage you to get to stillness in your life, because I truly believe that the only way to connect with divinity that is within, the only way to build that inner sanctum is, for me, the first and primary step is to get silent, to let go of distractions, to take time in your morning, your afternoon, your evening, night, what have you, to sit still, to get in silence, turning off the television, turning off your cell phone, sitting in silence. And for me, that first step is focusing on your inhalation and exhalation. And the reason why I say that is because for a lot of people, it's really difficult to not only sit still, but to sit still for any prolonged period of time. You know, we're so used to doing, and we're not used to being. And in this day and age with internet, which I do not curse, you know, the internet is a tool. And like all tools, we have to use them properly. You can use a hammer to build a house. You can also use a hammer to smash your foot. Hopefully that doesn't happen. You know, we can use a car to get to point A to point B, but we can also use a car to drive off a cliff or to smash into a tree. And I was not trying to be poetic there, but I did kind of rhyme. The internet is a tool. Our cell phones are tools. So, you know, I don't curse any of those, but there comes a time when we have to sit in silence and get to a place where we can find that still point. And for some, you know, some teach have an object to focus on, like this candle over here, or even like this granite, focus on a rock. Now, I'm not going to presume to tell you what is the best way, because what works for me may not work for Sally, may not work for Bob or Gary. But there are, you know, as the Buddha says, 84,000 paths, and you have to do your own work and find the one that works for you. And sitting in silence to still, to quiet, to close off those voices that are external. And when you focus on your breathing, you know, the breathing helps you to focus, so you're not constantly focusing on the myriad and multitude of thoughts that are flowing into your mind, that are distracting, that are not you. You know, call it the adversary, call it Satan, call it whatever. There's all these negative and positive thoughts that can come into your mind. But the point of sitting in silence, sitting still and know that I am, if you want God or a creator or source, you know, I am. Sitting in that silence, and as you practice that silence, you're able to then, and when you set the intention to connect with the divinity, to connect with the creator, to connect through, or however you want to say it. You know, I'm not so keen on all the various semantics, but the first step is sitting in silence so that you're able to then hear that still small voice within. And when you set your intention, and this is how I did it as a child, I would go into my closet and I would sit in prayer. I would sit in gratitude, thanking the source of life for all that it, he, she, mother, father, God has given me, asking that, you know, my path may be lit, that a light was on my path so that I can see the direction that I need to go. So like I said, no one can do it for you, but it's work, and it's a constant practice. And when you engage in this practice, sitting and, you know, connecting with your inner self, with the divine, and making that that intention to do so, I believe that you will find results. So anyway, I want to go ahead and take a look at the chat room, see if anyone has anything to offer. Anyone have anything to offer to the conversation? Okay, so I want to go ahead and do a little reading for Art Psalms. And if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to attempt to answer them. Anyone have any thoughts that they would like to share? Anyone have any thoughts that they would like to share how they're able to connect with Source, what they're able to do? And again, you know, it's all going to be different for every person. You know, I remember years ago, and I think I probably shared this before, when I took my family on a vacation to Maine and being in Arcadia National Park, you know, Bar Harbor is all on that island, and being in the woods. For me, being out in nature is where I am also able to really connect with divinity. And I wonder if it's because being in nature, you're then in a position where you are entrained to the alpha brain waves. And so that connects you to your creativity, which connects you to the creator. Catherine Emma says, I guess learning how to meditate is the tricky part. Well, these are what I've given you is the basic 1, 2, 3 simplest steps. Okay. You can either take a flame, a candle flame, and this is what I've learned through my school, which I'm currently studying a metaphysical degree, spiritual degree with University of Sedona. And Dr. Masters, you know, the whole training program is all about meditation and connecting with the divine within. The tricky part is getting yourself to be okay with being still. That's the tricky part. And, you know, you can have something that you can focus on. You can focus on this. You can focus on a flame, preferably a flame in a single candle that's in front of you. Seven Serpents says, I focus on the things that I'm grateful for and just stay in the energy of gratitude. Deborah says, it's hard to empty our minds of thought. And see, that's the thing people get hooked up on. It's not about emptying your mind of thought, because it's not going to work. Focusing, having your inhalation as you're sitting there. So as I'm sitting here, what I did just now, as I was breathing in, and as I explained when I brought out the blooming lotus, Thich Nhat Hanh, you know, breathing in, I breathe in peace, or I breathe in calm. Breathing out, I breathe out peace. So, and that's a mantra, as Denise James points out. Mantra helps some people. You have something that's your anchor. Okay. For me, my anchor has always been breath, is the breathing. I focus and I discovered this when I was probably in my late teens, early 20s. That was just, you know, a tool that I discovered on my own. A candle, as Seven Serpents said, focusing on his gratitude. So sitting there in silence and maybe even going over in your mind all the things that, you know, have one word popped out, you know, children, food, my home, my job, my spouse, if you have one, or my partner. Focusing on things that bring you gratitude. Focusing on the flame of a candle. And as you focus on that flame flickering, and as you go deeper and deeper, we're focusing on your breathing. Because are thoughts, ideas, methods that, oh, wow, here is an area that I need to grow on. Here is something, you know, an inspiration might pop into there, you know. So let's see. Chris Monet says, meditation for me is extracting the connection to spirit from all the patterns that unfold in my experience. And so that's what meditation is for Chris. And as Chris calls it, metaphor, you know, the metaphor that life is trying to teach you. that can come out in various ways. For me, that sort of thing comes out in, you know, in day-to-day living, when you're willing to let go of, you know, he did this to me and she did that to me and this and that and this and that. And you can also have your meditation, like, you know, how could I have done this situation better? Please show me the answer. Please show me the light on my path for me to be able to, you know, navigate this particular relationship. Chris Monet says pattern recognition. Catherine says I start to worry. Well, if worry starts to pop up into your mind, that's when you focus, you redirect yourself and focus back on the breathing. You focus back on your inhalation and your exhalation. I mean, you know, we could sit till the crows come home at night, or is that the cows come home, and think of all the things that prevent us from meditation. But I guarantee you, if you sit for a minute one day, you know, and even if it's just a week, it takes you a week to be able to sit for a minute. And then the next week, add 2 more minutes. And here's something I want to, let's see, where did I put my phone? Underneath the book. So I want to show you something. Hopefully you can see this, because I've led a meditation group for 4 years. And usually after, you know, after the meditation, we all sit, and, you know, there are some people who, you know, they see pretty colors in front of their faces, or they feel different sensations in their body, or when they're sitting in meditation, they get this aha moment where they recognize an area in their life that they need to improve on. So I use an app. So this is my cell phone, and this is an iPhone, but I also have an Android. So this app, which you can see the little black one there, is called Insight Timer. So this is what it looks like. It is a free app. However, you can also you can pay. It was deluxe version, $6.99, $4.99 a couple of years ago. I'm not sure what it is now. I did purchase the deluxe version. So basically, this is an app, and this is showing that there 218,000 plus meditations that have taken place today. Currently, there's 457 people meditating. This is a really cool app because this is to help people. Okay, so with this app, you're able to set up meditation times. And as you can see, I have one meditation set up, 15 minutes of breathing. So it gives you, I don't know if you can hear that, different bells. And let's see, you can have presets. So as you see on there, I have 20-minute meditation. I have 35-minute meditation, 45-minute meditation, Reiki session, 55 minutes, 10-minute quickie, 20-minute kick quickie. Because see, when you take time to still yourself, that's when your growth and your inner sanctum starts to build itself. And when you're sitting in silence, the divine is able to speak to you and guide you and direct you. You know, it is that it'll probably come up in moments of inspiration or aha moments, because see, I can't, unless you're wanting to follow the Tamu train and be my follower, which I don't want you to be. I'm not trying to start a cult or a religion, even though I do have a spiritual ministry, but my ministry is all about encouraging people to develop their own spiritual path. So when you sit in meditation and you learn, and you can even set this to have 1 minute meditation. So here, I'll start it for you. This is, let's see. I'll go, let's see, I have a 10-minute healing. I sometimes do that when I want to just like grounding myself, united that earth and heaven into my heart. So that would be a 10-minute meditation. So here, I'll press the breathe. Well, I'll just do the 10-minute quickie. I'm not going to make it go for 10 minutes, but I'll just show you what it looks like. So it'll be a warm up. Okay. Okay. You see my son's soccer ball over there in the reflection and all his artwork papers. Okay. So basically, you can see that. So it will count down. And what you do now, when I first started my my group meditation, we first did 15 minutes. And of course, when you have other people meditating with you, you know, that support makes it easier. And then once it gets here, I'll let it go ahead and keep playing, and then you'll see what happens in the 10 minutes. So anyway, what was I saying? So you can get one of these apps to help you, because otherwise I know your monkey mind will be thinking, okay, is it time yet? Is it time yet? And you'll keep thinking about that. And also with this meditation, well, I can't get to it now. I don't like them. I don't encourage them because it kind of defeats the purpose. If your intention is to get in contact, get in connection with your divine, your, what do you call it? With the creator, the divine within you, having guided meditations. Guided meditations are more for if your aim for meditation is simply relaxation. That's great, you know, having someone guide you along the way. But when your purpose is to connect with the divine, when your purpose is to build your inner sanctum, then I believe wholeheartedly that it should be an individual job and not something someone is doing for you. Because, you know, every one of us has to answer for our own life. Every one of us has to use our creative gift, whatever it is. And for anyone who is alive in this life to say that they're not creative is absolutely untrue. That's a lie that we've been led to believe, that only some people are creative and other people are not. That's absolutely a lie. So anyway, kind of got off track what I was saying, but it's up to you. And if you're ready to take that step and take that journey, you know, if you want to send me an email, you know, to ask me a question about something, I welcome you to. And if you are interested in going a lot deeper, I do sessions with people on meditation. But again, it's still work that you have to be really, not really, but yes, really ready and willing to do yourself, to start the groundwork and set the intention. You know, when you sit for the meditation, set your intention. What is your purpose for this meditation? Is it for relaxing? That's fine. Is it to connect with divinity? Is it to connect with the creator? Set that intention. Okay. Because when you set that intention, that's what's going to eventually happen. Okay. It may or may not happen the first time. Who knows? But you have to set that intention and you have to start being open to the possibilities for that to happen. You know, as Chris Monet has shown you in her various videos, you know, this is, and, you know, many sages and even writers have always said this is a dream. And it's up for us to awaken in this dream and to start the process of lucid dreaming, whether we're in that second sleep where we sleep at night and in this sleep that we're in right now, to wake up and realize that this is a dream and that we are able to create. And if you are desiring to connect with Source, to connect with Creator, you are able to do that. And it starts with the first step of getting silent and trusting that you can do that. So Jason, let's see. Denise says, that's where I had to start with guided. Mental chatter was crazy. I was early in recovering. Okay, so Denise, are you still there in guided, or have you moved on? Because you can start with guided, but you do want to get to the place. And again, it depends on, what your purpose is. My purpose for this session here in this recording is about encouraging people to, get in touch with the divine. So yes, starting with guided is great, but when the guided is off and you are on your own, are you able to continue the journey? Okay. And because what happens is when you practice meditation and sitting in silence and connecting with the divine, and you're then shown, whatever lessons that you need to learn, and you're building that inner sanctum, when the ish hits the fan, when stuff goes to crap in your life, you're able to dwell in that inner sanctum, in that sanctuary center within. That is why I named my ministry Sanctuary Center Within, was to encourage people to know that they have everything within them to weather whatever storm that is happening in their life, because there's always going to be stuff that happens. There's always going to be stuff that happens. So we're down in 3 minutes, and you'll see what happens. Let's see. Jason says, when I meditated for the first time today, as soon as the music stopped, so did the patterns. But I tried to get back without the music. I did it, but it's much harder. And I hear what you're saying, Jason, and I would encourage, it's interesting when I have people come to meditation, they're like, they want to see fireworks. And, if that is what your intention is, that's great. But if your intention is to connect with, Source, with Creator, you're not always going to see fireworks. And sometimes the lesson for you is to be okay right where you are. So I would say people not to, I would discourage people from feeling that sitting in meditation, their objective is to see light works going on, the purples and the blues and the greens and all of that going in and out. I mean, that's great. And it is cool when that happens. But even that can be a distraction. Even that is an illusion. It doesn't necessarily get you where you want to be. Chris Monet shares, the mental chatter is that insane energy trying to distract you from extracting the metaphor that connects you to spirit. And it's very beautifully put. And the mental chatter and even the beautiful fireworks that happen inside when you close your eyes. So yeah, I've been there. I've had experienced the beautiful light workings that go on, the patterns, but the object is to get even deeper than that. So you're able to connect with that source, that energy, and, connect with what you need to learn for this life. Deborah Fornander says, I'm trying to strengthen my connection. I feel I have connected. No more hitting the snooze buttons, so to speak. Yes, and, that connection, some days are better than others, at least for me, I found. Some days are stronger than others. Some days are not so. But it's a constant practice, because there's always something here to distract you, for you to stumble on. And there's always a new lesson and deeper that you can go. Very good. It's so nice to see people really engaged in the present topic. So now we're at 36, 34, and you'll see what happens in the end. It's really cool. And so I do encourage, for me, with the monkey mind chatter, it's nice having a timer, and then you can just sit back because, yeah, we got stuff that we have to do. So we don't want to be lost be in the meditation when we know that we have to leave for work soon. So this helps to give a peace of mind. So let's see. Anyone have any questions or anything they like to share? Okay. I don't know if you can hear that. It's a little bit low. And then once you click done, then that's pretty cool. So at that point in time, 2,287 people meditated with you. And it shows you all the different people who were meditating with you. And let's see, done with that. It also has a built-in journal. And it gives you have a little profile in there. Have a profile. And let's see. And in this area, that's where all the guided meditations are. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with using guided meditation. I just hope that that's not your only, because guided meditations are more of a relaxation, but you really do want to get to the place where it's all about you and not external. So, maybe have a guided meditation, at one sitting and another sitting, do a silent. Yes, Insight Timer app. And it's available on Android. And so here, let's see, this is by binaural beats. So this is binaural beats, and isochronic tones are forms of brainwave entrainment. So I would say, if anything, if they have it alone, I don't think they have it alone. They have it with music. Even music is a way of being distracted. But the binaural beats, what they're good for, let me see if this one, okay, no, that comes up with the sound of rain. I'll show you one more app that I have for those who might want to help their brain waves, because it really is about getting the brain waves entrained. I have this Relax Melodies app. This is also a free app. Let's see, no, I don't want to give a review right now. And on this app, of course, you get different sound effects, which I use for my massage practice. But right there, you can put the isochronic tones, and you can also brain waves, which they have one for concentration, relaxation, the alpha, beta, theta waves. So using something like that on a headphone, you can put those on the YouTube and they'll give you samples of those. You might even be able to just find some on YouTube, and you have the headphone on, and then it helps your brain waves, helps to get you deeper into a meditation. And when you use those, that's something, there are even better training wheels for your brain to get into that state, because you can use them and use them and use them. And then after a while, once you set the intention that you're going to meditate and get into that state, the alpha waves, where you're able to connect with that creativity, able to connect with the creator, and even in the gamma waves, you're able to, once you've trained your brain so much to do it with the training wheels, you're able to affect that brainwave state on your own. So I would endorse using binaural beats when it's just the binaural beats by itself and not accompanied by music, because then you're being taken off into music. But then again, it's all up to you and what you decide to do. So that was Insight Timer app. You can find them on YouTube, Facebook, and in your Google Play Store, and what do you call it? The iPhone store, and Relax Melodies. So just want to do a little reading from Art Psalms. And thank you, everyone. Okay. Okay. So this is the inner artist. The inner artist. Alex Gray. The inner artist guides us toward action that serve our soul's emergence. The inner artist is not the voice of reason. The inner artist can have wild and impossible ideas. Artists are most themselves when they are out of their minds, transcending the ego skirmishes of conceptual thought and intuitively relinquishing control to the greater creator. The inner artist is not the voice of comfort. The artist challenges us to work at the peak of our potential and guides us towards greater beauty, meaning, and love. What decisions in our lives and work would satisfy and fulfill the artist of our soul? If our lives are the most important canvas, let the inner artist guide the strokes and make the best possible picture of it. If our lives are the most important theatrical production, let the inner artist unfold the plot, making decisions that bring excitement, wonder, and revelation into life. How does every nuance and whisper of color, design, or music affect our feelings? Our artist temperament is deeply penetrated by the experience of all the senses, not just the five senses, but the moral and spiritual sense as well. The artist's soul is open to and pounded by all the forces of creation, yet instead of shattering, is compressed into a radiant diamond. The inner artist is not only sensitive, but takes action to make each project and life itself into a beautiful and meaningful creation. The inner artist finds inventive ways of sharing gifts, inviting relationships, and participation in life. The inner artist has faith in and surrenders to God's limitless creativity, combining aspects of both the mystic and the engineer to bring spirit into form. Listen to the inner artist and begin your magnum opus. And your magnum opus, of course, is the masterpiece of your own life. And remember, the inner artist is not all about this kind of art. Okay. We are all artists. And I want to bring again, Chris Monet, what do you think? This is all about, as Seven Spirits mentioned, I think it was seven spirits, seven serpents, you know, the uniting of spirit and matter, which is ourselves. Chris Monet brings to it, uniting heaven and earth. And for those who missed our K2 video, this is a marriage of, what do you call it? Azurite, which is the stone of heaven, with granite, which is the earthly stone. It's like, who got peanut butter in my chocolate, or my chocolate in my peanut butter? This is a miracle. Granite, I can't even remember what the moss of granite, the hardness of granite is, but it's really hard. We all know. And azurite is a brittle, it's a much softer stone. And for those two to come together, the azurite would have been totally obliterated, but it beautifully stains the granite. And with this, you have the vibration of one, of heaven, with the azurite, and the vibration of two, which is earth. So K2. Yes, this is K2. And what's cool about crystals and stones, they're good focal points of focal points of meditation. And meditation does not just occur when you sit down and go in silence. It occurs when you're walking, when you're cooking, any moments that you are allowing yourself to connect with the divine within, to connect with source. So I'm used to the term, I go in and out of using the term God, because for me, I know what I mean when I use the term God. It has nothing to do with religion. But some people like the term source or universe, creator, mother, father, God, whatever. We're not going to get hooked up on semantics. Chris Monet says, did you see suspicious observers this AM stating that there's a 6-planet system just discovered? As I said, this will be all the buzz. Gary says K2 soul stones are from China, Pakistan foothills. Yes, that is true. That is true. So anywho, I want to thank all of you for joining us today. Thank you very much, and excuse my knee. I got long legs trying to figure out where to put them. I didn't realize that my knee was up until I looked in the camera. But anyway, say thank you so much for being here today, and I'm going to go ahead and bring our session to close. I have an episode of Star Trek to watch and breakfast to eat and all of that good stuff. So I wish you peace and great bliss. You can check the description box if you would like to get in touch with me and say hi. I appreciate it. And I appreciate all the new people that I saw here today. You are awesome as well, Gary. All of you, thank you. Thank all of you so much. I appreciate all of you because I know what my mission is on this earth. And by me being able to share with you, and by you receiving what I have to share, what I feel that Source has put on my heart to share, you're helping me to fulfill my mission and also make me feel like my mission is reaching people. So I thank you. I thank you very much. Thank you, Chris. I missed you guys over the weekend as well. I was busy learning, and now I got to let all that knowledge sink in. Anyway, okay, sorry. So let's take a nice deep centering breath and take with us the commitment to not give up, the commitment to keep taking steps towards our own awakening. Because as we begin to awaken, others will begin to awaken as well. And so that we can take this dream and that we can create as we should. Keep our vibrations high. I wish you peace and great bliss. And just remember, I'd encourage you to watch the video from the beginning if you arrived late. This is some good stuff here that we all shared today. So have a beautiful day, peace, and great bliss.